also with this data that we keep thinking of microsatellite instability in colon cancer, but we keep forgetting that there's other cancers that are involved that have microsatellite instability, including pancreas and gastric cancer. And it really starts to make you think how the way that we're treating patients in general, all of our patients with cancer, is changing, and the importance of molecular testing. Philip, what do you think? Does this change your mind? Does this make you think for pancreas cancer that I should be looking for microsatellite instability or BRCA or things like that?
So microsatellite instability, start off microsatellite instability, the frequency in all comers will be 1% or so. Yeah. So it's a very low percentage. The question is, are we recommending to our colleagues to do the testing routinely just for microsatellite instability? So the question is, are there any other additional results that will impact our treatments? So I have to admit that I do it routinely in our patients, and I do that using a commercial lab. We don't do it in-house. I know at Farber maybe they do it in-house. They used to do it, but so basically, if you ask me, the last 100 patients who I've done the test on, did I change treatments? Did I do something different? I can tell you that with the exception of BRCA2 mutation, which may impact the use of like platinum compounds or sending the patient to a PARP inhibitor study, you see lots and lots of P53 mutations, P16 mutations, obviously KRAS. But what do you do with those mutations? And you might see the odd HER2/neu, but certainly if I want to tell patients I will do the test and I'm going to change the treatment or plan the treatment, that is not going to happen in 98, 97% of the time. It doesn't. Now, at this time we have BRCA2, we can chase the microsatellite instability based on what we know, but that's limited. Now, there are other mutations that might be, we don't know what they are, what they do, and all that, and we have a robust phase 1 program, which is nowhere near yours, but obviously we can benefit from some of the drugs they have for us to use. But that's also a question for you, maybe for pancreatic and other cancers. How much do you find beneficial to do, since you're also leading the phase 1 effort in GI? Do you get, now I'm asking you a question. I'm the moderator.
So Philip, thanks for the segue. I mean,
I'm asking her.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were looking at me. I apologize.
Well, I'll answer your question very quickly. I mean, I think for us, with access to the clinical trials that we have of the new agents, certainly we're doing a lot more molecular profiling across the board, including pancreas cancer patients. So far, just as you've said, not many of the pancreas cancer patients have benefited from this testing, but I think as we do more and more, as we're having more agents that are being developed, certainly there are a number of new drugs that are in phase 1 now that are looking at pancreatic cancer patients. People are looking at vaccines against CA19-9, specific immunotherapies that are meant to target pancreatic cancer cells. I mean, so other target agents as well. So I think that in the context of you getting a patient to a clinical trial, I think it makes a lot of sense. And I'm sorry I interrupted you guys.
No, not at all. But I'm going to answer the question as well, Philip. So I know you didn't ask me. But I think it can direct to the appropriate phase 1 trial. We are moving on for the cytotoxic based phase 1 trials, not only phase 1 trials, treatment in cancer in general. And I think that targeting a potential driving mutation should start in phase 1. So most of the phase 1 trials now are in enriched patient population. We are moving on from the histology-based phase 1Bs to actually a mutation-based or driving mutation-based phase 1 trial. So having that panel in mind helped me to think about not the first and second line that we have today, but the third line down the line for the patient that still have good organ function and good performance status.
Yeah, I want to jump in here and advertise something for PanCan, because there was a really good presentation last night from PanCan. And they have a program where they'll do some molecular analyses of the tumor. It's called Know Your Tumor. And that's a really good way for patients to have the molecular marker work done. So, everybody knows PanCan's the advocacy group that's for pancreatic cancer. They've done a tremendous job, and they have this opportunity out there. They're working with Prothera, a company in the DC area, So we need to direct our patients to this. I mean, I know we all have in-house ways of looking at genetic profiling, but I think we owe it to patients and to PanCan, because they're going to spend, I think, around $200 million in the next several years trying to get this program up and running and trying to get the right trials. So just try to advertise that for you.